Good morning, Cesar Barbosa with Verdant. We've been getting a lot of phone calls on string inverters having voltage tolerance issues, meaning that, as many of you know, a lot of these string inverters have a voltage tolerance basically, and if the AC voltage from the grid is either too high, which is majority of the cases, it's too high, it trips the inverters offline. And it can get a little confusing because typically what we see is that out of a batch of about maybe a 5 to 10 inverter system, 5 to 10 string inverter system, maybe only 1 or 2 are tripping offline. So it's very easy to think that it could potentially be an inverter issue, but actually if you do a little bit more of an invasive troubleshooting, you can determine that a simple retapping of the transformer can solve the problem. So let me explain. And typically what happens is when you call a string inverter company, they'll make you run through a few scenarios on the inverter itself, but they typically won't tell you or ask you to come in and do this. Their typical response is it's a problem with the grid. Well, before you freak out and go out calling the utility, consider retapping the transformer. So I'm going to tell you what that means exactly. So here we have a 208 step-up transformer. So we have a utility grid that's 480, and then it goes to a 208. So I'll show you the tapping coils here. And you can zoom in real quick so you can see it. So this transformer was originally tapped on to what we call tap sequence number 3. And you can see here the grid voltage is 480. And so because of this high voltage peak at certain times of the day, some of these inverters were tripping offline. And so what we're going to attempt to do is to bring that tolerance down by retapping it into the sequence number 6, which, as you can see here, brings it down to a 454 volts. It's still enough to keep these inverters online, but it essentially restricts the grid from spiking these inverters out of tolerance, thus tripping them offline. And what it means as far as the actual work itself, so obviously we have this system locked out, tagged out. We verified with our string, with our meters that it's said, and so I'll show you. You might have to zoom in for this a little bit, actually. Here, Edwin. These are the taps, in a sense, right? And it's very easy. I mean, you can even see that they're numbered, right? On the top side of the coils, you'll see it numbered from 3 to 1, and at the bottom is 7, 4. So again, when we first got here, these taps were on number 3, and all we're doing is bringing it down to 6. But you have to do it for each coil, right? Because the step down, step up has to be correlate to all the windings, and that's really it. It's just a matter of retapping that transformer. So this is what we mean when we say the transformer needs to be retapped. It's important to make sure that you torque these to a correct torque spec, because once you fire this up, you don't want any issues in here. So before you go out and start freaking out about the grid, give us a call. We might be able to find you a solution. Thanks.